we do have a buyer, a committee member who is buying some of these mega cap names. Amazon. Rob Sechan bought more Amazon. Rob Sechan bought more Nvidia. Rob Sechan joins us on the phone now to tell us exactly why now.
Well, Scott, nice to be with everybody. Hi guys. Last week on the show, we talked about being in an athletic stance. On Friday, that's exactly what we did. Corrections like these are historically great buying opportunities for long-term investors because forward returns skew positive, and you have to be ready to capitalize on that. Along these lines, we used the weakness that we saw to increase our exposure to our current highest conviction, Mag 7 names. Now, we've been overweight Meta for a long time, underweight Amazon and Nvidia, and we just think those two names offer an attractive combination of relative valuations, dominance, and durable long-term growth. On Nvidia specifically, obviously Bellware AI, incredible edge in advanced AI chips, years ahead of competitors. Next-gen Blackwell is showing healthy momentum, and this is despite concerns about competition, export controls, slowing CapEx at the hyperscalers. And you have a company that is going to double their revenues in the next 2 years and produce a remarkable $100 billion in free cash flow. And as Jim just said, it trades at 25 times 25 EPS, 20 times 26. So on Friday, we entered the name, and we think it's a good buy. We're still not market weight, but we continue to increase as the market presents opportunity.
I appreciate you calling in and telling us about it because it gives us a good segue. Rob, thanks. We'll see you back on the desk soon. I'm sure of that. It's a good segue to those comments that the Alibaba chairman, Joe Tsai, made today. You bet. Warning of a bubble in AI data center build-out. He said the following, quote, "I start to see the beginning of some kind of bubble. I start to get worried when people are building data centers on spec. There are a number of people coming up, funds coming out to raise billions or millions of capital. There are a number, as you know, guys, number of private equity firms that are making big investments in data centers, Blue Owl, Blackstone among them, KKR. There are companies that have seen their share prices go to the moon. They've fallen back down to earth in some respects. Vistra, Vertiv, GE Vernova, Eaton, Constellation Energy. Last I checked, they were all down today, maybe on these comments. Nvidia is slightly lower, perhaps on these comments as well. What do I do with that from Joe Tsai?
There is some speculation. There's no question about it. But the names that I own, they're contracted out until 2030. And I still think that if we believe in the AI story, which we all do, you still do need data centers. We do not have enough of them. We have 11,000 around the world. We have 5,400 here in the States. You have to get at least double that just to meet up with the demand. And of course, you then need an upgraded grid, which Eaton has said 70% of the grid is over 25 years old. And we have these mega projects. I don't know if they're ever going to be fulfilled, but $1.7 trillion is what Eaton has said is out there, and only 15% have started to be built.
What price do you pay, though?
I have been buying.
For what you just said.
I have been buying.
That's what I mean, right? What valuation, right? Because if you look at, I got Eaton in front of me, the high 380, it's down to 299. Constellation Energy, the high 352, it's down to 224. I mean, you get my point.
Yeah, of course. So I got slammed on the DeepSeek day because they got hit. And I started buying about a week later just to let the dust settle a bit. So, you know, these stocks were all down double digits. And I just feel like I think we're in like the second or third inning in this. And these companies have done a really good job in terms of managing expectations. And Eaton has a new CEO, and he just talked about $21 billion of cash that he's going to be putting to work between now and 2030, between M&A and buybacks and dividends and that sort of thing. So that's kind of a little bit of a special sitch story within. GE Vernova is all about it's being spun out, and the margin expansion is enormous at this company. And I bought Nextera because I like the GE Vernova combination, the joint venture that they announced. So I think there's a lot of ways you can play it. You don't have to reach for the stars and buy these really super expensive stocks, because these have all come down, and I think they're very good valuations.
Yeah.
Steph, to what you just said, there's many ways to play it. If you're worried that there is some bubble brewing, I don't think so. Or let me put it this way. If there is a bubble, it's in the inflating phase. I don't think it's imminently going to pop. But if you're worried about it, play a hybrid name. I mean, think about something like Oracle, which right now is being, brushed as an AI stock. But they actually have a software, a database company that gives you another piston in the engine. Or, Microsoft, for that matter. There's a heck of a lot more to it than AI. So, again, I'm not that worried that we're imminently going to pop a bubble in data centers. But if you're worried that AI is a bubble, there's a lot of other ways to play it. Cisco Systems.
Well, maybe we were on the precipice of something that has self-corrected in some respects. Josh, real quick before we go.
Yeah, we're about to get a really good heat check here on this theme when CoreWeave prices its IPO this week and comes public. At the current valuation expectation, this thing will be coming public somewhere between $27 and $32 billion in valuation. You can kind of understand it because their growth rate over the last year is like 700%. But it's a heat check because I don't think anyone thinks anything like that can keep going. CoreWeave is infrastructure as a service. So they build these massive data centers filled with the newest GPUs from Nvidia, and then people come in and rent that compute. We're going to get a really good sense of where the market's appetite is for that theme, and it's not going to take us very long to process based on how that stock opens.